see that. It's so awesome to be here again today. All right. Yeah, we're live now. And I'm going to be sharing this video. I really want to encourage you to do the same tonight, because we're starting, to go into the year now. And so one thing we're going to do this year is we're going to invite as many people as we can. Okay, I'm sharing myself, and I would love to invite more people. Yeah. Hold on. Please, as you're joining, please be inviting people. Thank you very much for doing that. And I'm about to hit the hair. I'm about to go viral now, because what we're going to discuss tonight, honestly, you don't want to miss it. You really don't want to miss it. It's going to be powerful. Powerful. There we go. There we go. Yep. Okay. All right. Now it's working. Now it's going on, and I hope you're sharing it as you're joining. Tonight, I told you I'm going to be starting a new series, and it's going to be awesome. Like I normally do, I will do the introduction today, and from next week, honestly, the introduction you don't want to miss, but from next week, we're really going deeper into what this is all about. Okay. Yep. Are you doing that for me right now? Are you sharing the video? Please do quickly. We have very few minutes to spend. Okay. Okay. All right. Very beautiful. Well, I want to give a shout out to all our followers, all our viewers, everywhere around the world. I mean, it was awesome last week. People really watched this video from all over, and I really want to appreciate you. I've been getting so many calls, so many comments on Facebook, on WhatsApp, on Instagram. It's been awesome, right? It's been also for those that watch from Senegal, from Ghana, from Nigeria, from the UK, from the US, from Australia, from Canada. It was awesome. Okay, it was so awesome. I really appreciate that. And I still want you to do something for me tonight. Like I said, just share it. Just share this video, and we're about to start. All right, I'll put my phone aside now because I'm about to come on here. All right. Today, by the grace of God, we're going to be starting a series that I call Values. Values. My topics are always very simple, all right? I mean, I think simplicity is one of the things I cherish most in life. I love things being simple, and that's what we want to do tonight. We want to look at an introduction to the topic that says values. Have you ever asked yourself certain questions? I'm going to ask you some questions right now, okay? Because this is the best way by which I can introduce this topic to you. I would ask you some questions after a little bit of introduction tonight, after a little bit of teaching. Then I will see if anyone asks questions. Then we will be able to tackle one or two questions, okay? So if you want to ask questions, you can just type your questions on the Facebook comment, or you just send me a message, and I will be able to read out your questions tonight. So I'll take a few questions, but after the teaching. All right, but let me ask you some questions first. All right, I have about 5 questions here. Have you ever asked yourself, who am I? You just you took a pause, and then you asked yourself, who am I? A lot of us don't ask that question, and I don't know why you don't ask that question, but you really need to know who you are. Do you know that a lot of us struggle in life because we don't really know who we are? We don't know our own identity. We cannot recognize, we cannot define who we really are. If I ask you a question and I say, hey, hello, who are you? The first thing people say is their names. Your name does not define you. Hello, your name is just a tag on you for recognition. Your name does not define you. The real definition of you is actually inside of you. And the truth is, a lot of us don't really know who we are. So have you ever asked yourself that question? Who am I? The second question I think we should have asked ourselves, or probably maybe you've not asked yourself, that you need to ask yourself is, why am I here? I mean, in the world. Why am I in the world? What is the purpose? You know, it's one of the most difficult questions that people find tasking to answer in life. A lot of people cannot place their hands on an answer for that question. Why are you here? Why were you born? Hello? So, why am I here is one question. You know, that is in two parts. Why am I here? Why am I on earth? Why am I born? And then why am I where I am right now? In terms of location, why are you in Spain? Why are you in the UK? Why are you in Canada? Why are you in Australia? Why are you in Nigeria? Why are you in Ibadan? Why are you in Lagos? Why are you in Abeokuta? Are you getting the picture of what I'm saying now? Why are you where you are? Why are you walking where you're walking right now? It's another location. Why are you where you are? Why are you watching me right now? Why are you watching this video right now? Have you ever asked yourself these questions? I mean, you really sit down and you ask yourself these questions. Why am I here? That's the second question. I mean, these are very important questions that everyone should ask him or herself. Number 3 is, what should I do to be fulfilled? Everyone talks about fulfillment. We talk about success. We talk about achievement. Okay? We talk about fulfilling purpose. Then have you ever asked yourself, what should I do to be fulfilled in life? It's a very critical, important question. What should I do to be fulfilled? Number 4, why do I do what others are doing and I don't get the same result? Have you ever asked yourself that? You've seen people do certain things, maybe a business. Now, I love business. Okay, let me talk about business. Maybe you've seen people do particular kind of business and you follow their steps. You know, there is this saying that I really changed a little bit. It says that if you do what successful people do, you'll be successful. I don't believe in that. I think that you need to understand why successful people do what they do for you to be successful. Because if you just do what successful people do, then everybody should be successful. But why is it that everybody is not successful? Why is it that you're doing what others are doing and you're not getting the same result as they do? Have you ever asked yourself that question? And that's why, you know, even in families, you compare yourselves, you compare your family to another, and then you find out that you're doing exactly the same things that these people are doing, but you are not getting the same result as they are getting. Okay, so this is another question that you really need to ask yourself. Why do I do what others are doing and I don't get the same result? And number 5, why do I do what I do? I mean, everything you do from the moment you wake up in the morning till the time you sleep at night, why do you do what you do? Have you ever sat down to ask yourself? You know, one thing I think you should try to do is one day of your life, 24 hours of your life, every moment, every second, every step, every action you take, ask yourself that question. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? You want to eat. Why am I eating? You're watching TV. Why am I watching TV? You're walking on the road. Why am I walking on the road? You want to take a bus. Why am I taking a bus? If you try that in a day, you'll find out that you can change your whole destiny. Because you will be shocked at the realizations that you will come across. Okay? Now, but if you ask all these 5 questions, that I've asked you, who am I? Why am I here on earth? Why am I where I am? What should I do to be fulfilled? Why do I do what others are doing and I'm not getting the same result? And then why do I do what I do? All these 5 questions, do you know that all the answers, all the keys, all the clues are tied to what we want to talk about tonight? Values. Values. They are all tied to the same topic. And that's why this topic is very important. And that's why I'm not going to rush it, because it's something that we really need to sit down and study. Okay? Because it's going to change everything about your life. I bet you that. I promise you that. It's going to change everything about your life. If you can understand this concept and you can be sincere with yourselves and break it down, I'm telling you, you're about to start a new journey in life. So, what is value? I mean, if you just ask me, what is the value of a thing? We think about price, isn't it? We think about price. We think about, an agreed price that people place on things. Well, that is an aspect of value that we're talking about. But let me define value in my own perspective. I say value is a personal perspective or perception of things or emotions. All right, so that's the difference. So I'm not just talking about price of a thing right now. I'm talking about your personal view, your personal perception, your personal acceptance, the way you judge things and emotions. Now, there is this saying that a man's food is another man's poison. Why is that? Something that will make someone happy might be the same thing that will make another person sad. Now, so if you ask me what is the value upon that particular thing, is it not different now? Now, it means that it might be a source of joy to someone and it's a source of sadness to another. So the value is not actually on the thing. The value is on the mind of the people. It's in the perception of the people that have experienced that particular thing. Are you getting where I'm going tonight? All right. So you begin to see the reasons why you have not been able to achieve certain things in life. The reason why you have not been able to answer some of those questions that I asked earlier. Now, why? Because of your perspective, because of your perception of things and emotions. And that is what I call value. And that's what I want to study. How do you perceive things? And why do you perceive things the way you perceive them? Okay, why do you perceive things like that? I mean, what is your perception about life? Because if you don't understand your perception about life, you will not be able to know how to live it. It's like buying a TV and you don't have the manual and you've never seen it in your life. Honestly, it might be there. I mean, it has all the potentials of making you to see what is happening in the US right now, live. But it might be sitting there. If you don't know how to operate it, it will be useless to you. You might use it for some other things, but I'm telling you, you will not be able to use it to fulfill the purpose for which it has been made. A lot of people are running on another man's lane. They're running another man's race. Why? Because the purpose for which they were created, they have not found it out. And they are being used by others, or they are using themselves for something that is far below the purpose for which they were created. I'm still going to come to that, but I mean, you need to understand that values are actually personal perspective or perception of things and emotions. Sorry, you won't see that in dictionary. I've told you I don't pick my things from dictionary or the internet. All right, I'm saying to you how I received it. Okay, so you have the right to judge it, you have the right to accept it or to reject it, but you need to understand the perspective I'm going through so that you can benefit from what we are talking tonight. Now, if you look at that description, if you look at that definition I just gave you, there are two variables in the concept of values. Okay, I want to talk about those variables very quickly. There are two variables in the concepts of values. Number one is the what, and number two is the degree of perception. Okay, number one is what. What do you perceive? I mean, that's what makes value. All right. Now, because why will a wristwatch? You know, I was browsing the other day. I went to Rolex, their official website. I said, this Rolex, let me see if I can buy one. I mean, I just want to buy one just to keep. And someone asked me before I opened the website, I said, how much do you think they sell it? I said, I don't know. Maybe 3,000, 5,000. I don't know. Let me just check. And when I opened the website, I began to see the prices. I said, wow. I said, I think I need to buy a car first. Now, but I began to reason. I said, why will a watch cost as much as 30,000, 40,000 euros when I can buy another one for 200 euros? Now, will they perform the same function? Probably yes. But what is the difference? It's value. It's value. So what makes the difference in those two items which will perform the same function is value. Now, so what are the variables when you talk about value? Now, the first thing is what exactly you value, what something means to you. That's what I mean there. What it means to you. That's how you place value. That's how you build value. What something means to you. And number two is the degree to which that thing means it to you. If you go to a place where they are fighting wars, okay, in this modern era, and then you have a gun and then a knife, and then you present the two to people to choose and buy, which one do you think people would like to buy first? I believe the gun. Why? Because they feel that it is more valuable than the knife. Why? Because they believe that it's going to be more efficient, more effective. Now they're going to place higher value on it, not because of the materials, not because of the production cost, but because of the effectiveness at that point. Are you getting what I'm saying now? So there is a degree of perception. There is a degree of perception, and that is based on individuals. Someone that is very hungry, I think, will place more value on food than his destiny at certain points. And this is where we need to be very careful. You remember the story of, what's the name? Of Esau and Jacob. Now, why did Esau place so much value on a pot of porridge over his destiny? Because he was hungry. Now, a lot of times we blame that guy. You know, it's so easy for us to point fingers at Bible characters. You know, I used to say to people, thank God the Bible is no longer written now. I mean, but there are books that are written about you. There are books that are being written right now about you. Even if you are not reading them, there are books that are being written about you on the sand of life. Okay, now, but it's very easy for us to point fingers when we read the stories in the Bible, but I bet you that there are so many of us that are doing exactly the same thing or even worse than those people right now today. There are people that have placed value upon the little income they are getting because they are in need. And when you consider their situation, you don't want to blame them because they have something physical, all right, that they can easily take now and use. And then you are talking about something in the future, maybe that would take the next 2-3 years. And then you go like, come on, if it's you, what would you have done? That's exactly what happens here. I mean, so you would be able to understand the decision of Esau on taking the porridge over his destiny. Why? Because the degree to which he perceived the food at that point was more important to him than the story of the future. The future was a promise to him, but what he saw was a solution. He went for solution and left the future. I'm not saying he's good. I'm not saying he's right. But I'm telling you that these are the mistakes that a lot of us make. Why? Because of our value system. Okay, and that's what we need to consider. So how do I help myself so that I will not be another Esau? How will it be that I will be able to look into the future and cling to my future than the present little solution, you know, that can just last for a little time? We will look into all that. That's why this topic is very important. Okay, but you need to understand that the two variables when it comes to value is the what and the degree to which we perceive those things that we value. All right, let me just say quickly, as I'll be rounding up, okay, it's not going to be too long tonight. Okay, I just want to throw a little light. Your values in life will determine a couple of things, the things you value in life. And by the time I begin to talk about this list, I hope you'll be looking into your life, and then you'll be looking at your decisions, you'll be looking at the things you do, and then you'll be able to understand better where we're going tonight. Your values will determine your actions. So the reason why you act the way you act, the reason you act the way you act is determined by your values. They say there's a woman that is nagging. Yeah, she's nagging because of her value system. There is a man that is greedy. He doesn't like to share. He's greedy because of his value system. There is one that likes to fight every time. He's like that because of his value system. You know, where I worked last year, my manager called me one day and said, well, on personal basis, he said, I just wanted to ask you a question. I said, yeah, what's it? He said, well, I noticed that you're always positive. Anything that happens, you're always positive. He said, is it because you're coming to work that you are like that, or that is how you are? And I smiled. I said, well, that is how I am. I mean, everything to me is always positive. And that's the truth. Now, why is everything to me positive when I can be in the same situation with someone else that is very sad, very angry about a particular thing, and I'll be smiling about it? Why is it like that to me? Because of my value system. Okay, so it's your value system that determines your action. So if you don't know why you act the way you act, then you need to begin to understand what your values are. Because the reason you act the way you act is because of your values. Number two are your visions. What are your visions? Your visions are always strategized by your value system. So it is what you value that will actually help you in forming your visions. It is your value system that helps in the formation of your vision. So whatever vision you have today, you need to check your value system. All right. And that's why it's very important for you to understand this and to be able to define who you really are. Because if you don't know who you are, then it's possible that you are running another man's vision, which is very, very dangerous. Number 3 will be your goals. Of course, I discussed this in the last 2 teachings, that when you have your visions, you must set goals. So that's kind of, following each other. So if your value determines your visions, then your visions determine your goals. But sometimes, even though this is the vision we have, but we still set our goals not in line with our visions. Why? Because of our value system. Okay, so I will not say that it is your vision that automatically allows you to set goals. No, but it is your value system that helps you in setting your goals for your visions. And that's why sometimes you have a very wonderful vision, you have set goals, but you still don't achieve them. Why? Because there is problem with your value system. All right, so we need to look into that also. Number 4 is your budget. Your finances. Where you spend your money is determined by your value system. I said in the beginning that I love to be simple, and that's why I don't really care about all these designer clothes. If I have money, I buy them. All right, but I don't care about that because I don't value that. That's not what I value. What I value is just being smart. Okay, it's just looking good, it's just being free, being happy. I don't wear native, the African native clothes. Why? Because I love to be smart. I'm a very active person, and I always feel that when I wear those heavy regalias now, I'm not going to be free. That's why I don't wear them. Not because I'm against it or no. I wear them sometimes when I know that, okay, I'm just going to an occasion or I'm going to church. I'll just see that I'm not doing much and I'm coming back. But if I know that I'm going to church and I'm going to dance today, I won't put on the native. I want to put on jeans or something that will make me move. Okay, so what am I talking about? So your value system determines where you spend your money. So if you are the type that when you receive your salary, you don't know how you spend it. Now, the problem is not in how much you collect. It's in your values. All right, so if you can understand the concept of your values and how your values affect you, then you'll be able to recognize, or you'll be able to find out where your money goes to. So your values actually determine your budget. Number 5 is your motivation. Your values determine your motivation, because if you understand what your values are, that's the best source of motivation. I told you about the external and the internal motivation the last time. If you remember, if you don't remember, you have to go back to that teaching and listen to it. I talked about the external motivation. Those are that's the kind of motivation you receive from outside, people motivating you, things motivating you and all that. But there is what we call the internal motivation. The internal motivation can only be fueled when your values are right. Okay, so your values actually decide and determine your motivation. What motivates you? What allows you? What prompts you to go on and go on and go on? What is it that will prompt you to go to work tomorrow morning without squeezing your face? What is it that will make you to go to classroom tomorrow without squeezing your face? Your values. So your values determine your motivation. And number 6, let me just say, your value determines your life. Everything you are, everything you will be, everything you will love to be is determined by your value. So how important is this value to us now? Can you see that it's about life and death? Value system is about life and death. It's everything. So if you don't understand this topic, then you are in big trouble. And that's why it's extremely important. That's why I'm not going to shout. I'm not going to rush it. I'll just take it step by step. But you need to understand how serious this is for us. All right? How you dress, how you view situations, how you judge people, how you address people. I used to say to people, when people tell me about, I spoke to this sister, she's so arrogant. And I go like, well, I've spoken to this same person and she was never arrogant to me. I said, I don't know, but personally, to me, I've never seen that. Now, there are 2 things that helps me in this situation, and that's the truth. I've never seen anyone so bad or anyone so terrible, because the truth is my value systems are very different and they are well defined. And I don't judge you based on your own values. Hello? I judge you based on my own values. And that's very important. I know that's difficult for a lot of us to understand. But the truth is, a lot of us, we judge other people because of their values. It's their values. They have a right to it. If you don't value respect, then I'm not going to judge you if you are disrespectful. If I value respect, I look for it. I earn it. You can be disrespectful to everybody, but because I'm looking for respect, that is what I see in you. So the reason why we judge people wrongly is because we have wrong value system. We don't understand our own values, and we judge them by their own values. You don't judge other people by their values. You have to judge them by your own values. God is not going to judge you according to your own standard. He will judge you according to his own standard. And that's why judgment is very difficult. Because it's not about what you do. It's about who I am. Hello? It's about who I am. I used to say this to people, and this is my ideology. And this helps me about setting my values right. I used to tell people, I am a mirror. And let me explain this to you. If you can understand this. I'm a mirror. Now, whatever you look like does not change me. Hello? Whatever you look like will never and can never change me. The only thing that can change me is me. If I want to be, blur, I'll be blur. If I want to be clear, I'll be clear. But as long as I am clear, no matter who you are, you only reveal yourself to me. Hello? So if you are very disrespectful, it cannot hurt me. The only thing that can happen is I see you as disrespectful. And that's it. Because I'm a mirror. So no matter what you do to me, I only see who you are. You only tell me who you are. That's all. And it doesn't go beyond that. And I'm not going to get angry. Have you ever seen a mirror weep because an ugly lady is looking at it? It's not possible. The mirror is not going to cry. No matter how ugly a woman is, the mirror will still remain. The only thing is that the mirror will see that this one is ugly. But the mirror will never cry. I've never seen a mirror cry. So why do you cry about what people are? Why do you cry about what people do? Oh, he did this to me. He said that to me. I keep saying these, and I know that many of you would have heard it from me, especially with my kids. Oh, daddy. Saul told me that I'm stupid. I'm not going to beat Saul because she said you are stupid. I'm only going to ask you one simple question. Are you stupid? No, but she said, no. Answer my question. Are you stupid? No, I'm not stupid. Then it's not you she's talking about. Now, if you understand who you are, there is no way you can get offended by what people say. People have a right to say whatever they want to say. Okay? So it's you that need to check your value system. So your value system helps you in how you dress, how you view situations, how you judge people, how you address people, what you eat. It's your value system that decides what you eat. Hello? If you value being big, then you know what to eat. If you value being like a sports person, you know what to eat. Don't fool yourself. Don't lie to yourself. When you set your values right, you get the result that you want to get. Now, who you work and play with also is determined by your values. The reason why you go to work every day and you're complaining is because you do not know your value. That's the simple truth. The day you recognize or you set your values right and you believe that is it, then you make right decisions. All right? So, but if you continue to complain about the way you live your life, about the kind of job you do, is because you are not ready to take responsibility for your life. You are not ready to define who you are. You are not ready to set your values and understand them and move on with your life. Okay? So it's that important. What you value determines how far you go in life. Extremely important. What you value will determine how far you go in life. Why? Because success is not a destination. Success is not a destination. A lot of people believe that, once I achieve this, and that's it. No, it's never like that. Success is a journey. We always walk in success. Hello, you always walk in success. As I was coming and I was just, ruminating over it in my mind, fulfillment can be a destination. Fulfillment is always a destination, but success is never a destination. The moment success becomes a destination for you, you are dead. Because the moment you achieve it, you die. But fulfillment is what is supposed to be a destination. And what is fulfillment? Accomplishment of a particular goal or vision. And, we need to clarify all these things. You need to clarify it. Because success is supposed to be a daily thing. It's supposed to be an occurrence. Okay? It's supposed to be an occurrence. And so your value actually helps you to determine how far you will go in life. It's your value that does that. There was a question a friend of mine I love him so much. He just wrote a book. I hope that one of these days I'll be able to get my copy. Sly, if you're watching, okay, I want to get my copy. I'll buy it. All right, just give me the link. I want to buy my copy. No. I don't believe in getting things for free. I want to buy my copy and buy for a few people. Now, but I mean, I want to read his book. He posted a question on Facebook this morning, and I read it, and he said, why is it that some companies or some businesses, they live and outlive the owners? I mean, they have very long years, long lifespan. Whereas some other companies, the moment the owner dies, the company dies with them. And people began to talk, and another friend of mine, who I really call, I can't even really call him a colleague, like he's almost like a mentor to me when it comes to business, Lai gave a very beautiful answer to that question. He said everything has to do with the value of the company. He said the value and the system of the company. He said if the company is built around a good system, it will outlive the entrepreneur. And that is exactly the same thing about our lives. The distance you go in life, the amount of success you will have in life will be determined by your value system. Do you know that what a nation values determine the development of such a nation? There has been a lot of videos on the social media about Nigeria and the Nigerian pastors. I'm the type that I really love to sit down and study things. I don't really love to give my opinions a lot of times on issues. But on this particular one, I began to read. It even got to a time that I had to cut myself off, because every time you see people now coming up, oh, this person replies this one replies that, and I saw myself reading all those comments and watching those videos, the pastors talking back, the other people talking back, up and down, and I began to think within myself, and I said, okay, why do we have so much noise about the pastors? Where are the members of those churches? Because if there are no members, there will be no pastors. That's the truth. There will be no GO or church owner if there are no members. If there are no products, if there are no buyers, there will be no business. It's the same. So if there are no members in the church, honestly, there will be no overseer. Now, I began to look at the members, and I asked myself a question. Do the members really see what these people are talking about? Because the truth is, let me be sincere with you, because I've been bothered about Nigeria, and I just want to say this just briefly because of my topic. I think the major problem Nigeria is having is not wealth or poverty. No. I think the major problem Nigeria is having is our value system. Honestly, our value system, what we value as a nation. That's the problem. If that can be set right, every other thing will fall in place. Okay, for example, I'm just giving an example. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Okay, please, I need to clarify that. For example, you are blaming a pastor or a man of God for being so wealthy. But my question to you is, the members of that church, how do they see their pastors? The truth is, most of the members see their pastors as role models. And they believe that these are examples of what they call success, because that is the value system of an average Nigerian. The value system of an average Nigerian is materialistic in nature. Material success to them is the core value. Once you have money, you can live well, you can buy a car, you have your houses, you can go for events and spend money, you can eat and feed your family, and you can give to the poor. You are made. That's the average value system of a Nigerian. So when they see anyone living such a life, to them, no matter what you say, that is their role model. So if we want to change Nigeria, honestly, what we need to change is the value system. What the people value is what can change a nation. So if you look at other countries, and I used to say it, I don't believe there is a country or a nation that is perfect. Not America, not the UK, not Europe. They all have their problems. They all have their share of problems. They all have their political problems, social problems. They all have their problems. They all have their negatives and their positives. That's the truth. But if you consider very well the value system of these nations, that is where the difference is coming. The way an American will speak about a fellow American is different from a way a Nigerian will speak about a fellow Nigerian. So we judge differently. Why? Like I said earlier, because of our value system. So before you lay blames, before you condemn, before you judge, check your own value first, and then check the value system of the people you're talking about. All right, I think that will help a bit. I'm not going to say more than that. But honestly, the growth of a nation or the development of any nation, it will be decided by the value of such a nation. And the same with an entrepreneur. I think I've said that. The value system of an entrepreneur decides whatever and decides everything about his business. It is your value that will decide your product. Now, let me talk about business because this is my area. It is your value that will decide your product, because a lot of us have been thinking, okay, I want to do business. It's good to be in business. I'm still going to talk about this one of these days. Every man is a businessman, whether you're active or passive. Every man is a businessman. Go and read my book. You understand that. So all this idea of, no, I don't like business, I'm not called into business. Whether you are called into it or you are not called into it, you are already into it. Okay, so it's just the part you play that differs. All right. So let's talk about business. Your value will determine your product. Your value will determine your price. What you value in business is what determines the price you place on your product. Have you seen some, like the Chinese people? I'm sorry to use that as an example, but they are very wise people. I love them. The Chinese people always sell things very cheap. And I used to wonder, is it that they don't like money? Of course, there's nobody that doesn't like money. Nobody goes into business not to make money. But why are their prices cheap? Because their value is different. What they value is very different. You need to check out what they really value when it comes to business. Quantity. Hello? They value quantity. And so their price can be so low, but they know what they are looking for. Now, if you don't value quantity, you value quality, you cannot compete with them on price. You have to look for another field, another ground to compete with such market. This is what a lot of people don't understand. That's why I said it's not about doing what successful people do that makes you a success, but understanding why they do what they do that makes you a success in life. All right, so you can't go around doing what every other person is doing because you don't know what their value systems are. Now, so your value system as a businessman or an entrepreneur is going to decide your product, your price, even your workers. It will decide those that will work with you. There are certain set of people I cannot work with. Honestly, I have to be sincere with you. If you want to work with me, you work full time. I love people that are, how do you call it, that are restless. I know lots of people don't like such people in business, but I love people that are restless, people that cannot sit down, people that just want to do something, people that are like me. All right, likes would always look for likes. But there are some other organizations that no, they don't want such people. They want calm, cool-headed people, slow people. All right. So what really determines the kind of people that works in an organization are the values of the person that owns that organization, if it's a sole business. Okay, so it determines your product, your price, your workers, and even your target consumers. You see how powerful values are. You see why you should understand everything about value system. Okay, so in conclusion tonight, because I said I'm just going to make an introduction, I believe that by now you understand how serious this issue is. But to conclude tonight, I will just sensitize you about what I'm going to talk about next week, because we're going to continue about this. There are two kinds of value according to my own definition, right? You can read books and all that about it, but I'll be talking about two types of values next week. I'll talk about the means values and I'll talk about the ends value. The means value and the ends value. What do you mean by means value? What do you mean by ends value? Now listen to me. If you are able to distinguish between these two, and if you are able to pinpoint for your life what your means values are, and you are able to pinpoint what your ends values are, honestly, there is nothing that can stop your success. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Because a lot of times I found out that it is the misplacement of values that have made people to to go bankrupt. It's the misplacement of value that have made people to be depressed and frustrated in life. When you take your means value to be your ends value, because at the end of the day, you begin to ask yourself why. Now, so for you not to ask yourself why in regret, you need to understand the means values and the ends values. So next week, I'm going to be talking about that. You need to prepare for that because we are going into this topic now. Your means values and your ends value. I put a note here as I close. I say, the why question, that's why. You know, you ask questions why. The why question is better asked before we take decisions than after we have taken the wrong decisions. The why question is always going to be asked. You will always ask the question why. So what I'm saying tonight is, it's better for you to ask why before you take your decisions than to ask why after you've taken your decisions. Because anyone that asks why after taking decisions is asking in regret. That, oh, why did I do this? Oh, why did I say that? That's regret. So whether you ask it before or after, you must ask the question why. But wise people, people that will succeed, people that will go forward, people that understand the concepts of values, they always ask the question why before they take their decision, before they speak, before they apply for that job, before they start that ministry, before they start that business. They ask why. And that's what we're going to be looking at next week. The question why will help us to separate between our means values and our end values. So for those of you that have been thinking, why am I on earth? Why was I born? Why am I where I am right now? You need to stick with me next week because we're going into that question why. And that is the only tool that we can use to separate between our means values and our ends values. I'll teach you that next week and I'll be very practical with it. So I want you to stay close to this station, Clevener TV, next week Monday by 8 p.m. Central European Time. I will be here to teach you on the same topic, values part 2, and we'll be looking at the means values and the ends values. I want to say thank you very much for those of you that have joined tonight. Layiwola, I'm so honored that you're watching me. I know you're so busy. I think he's in Dubai. I don't know whether you're listening from Dubai tonight or from Abuja. I know you are in one of those two places. All right, thank you very much, Temi Tokwe, Mary Abiodun, Israel, Baba Yomi, and so many others, Antonio Ricardo. Thank you very much. I love you so much from Mallorca. And every other person, Messi, Okondo, thank you very much. And please, if you have watched this video and you have questions, you can always type them on your on that Facebook comment. I will be answering them by next week. And also, please, I would love you to share this video with others. Invite people so that next week we'll begin to hit the nail on the head. All right. So next week, I'm going to see you again on Monday by 8 p.m. Central European Time on Clevener TV, and it's going to be Business Hour with Topsol. My name is Akinshola Ogundiya. I want to say God bless you for sharing. God bless you for watching. And please, always ask yourself that question, why? It will change your life. Thank you.